the sky if you got a dream. Learn nothing was blocking me. I was the problem, the only one stopping me. I didn't like it, I had to refocus. Now I'm devoted, I know where I'm going. Controlling emotions, I'm owning the moment. In order to get it, see, you gotta want it. Don't make a living break. Confessions over these 808s. Don't sleep on the key, better stay away. I mean, for heaven's sake, I'ma be the best. Came from the endless, I ain't war games, bitch with the chest. Keep beating on my chest, trying to get my rest. Watch me while I flex. Every win is a blessing, and every L is a lesson. So when I run into rejection, I know it's only redirection. I see the blessings right beside me. The chances of quitting are likely. I do it like I'm in my Nikes. Don't make excuses, they never excite me. Quitting was never an option.
It's time to get tricky in OSRL. Tonight, the Online Speedway Racing League Premier Series makes a stop in Eastern PA at the Pocono Raceway for 360 kilometers of tricky triangle entertainment. Good evening, everyone. I'm Hunter Brittle, alongside my good friend Ross Brockman, ready to bring you all the action of the World 360 live on split-second broadcasting. Ross, the drivers have 3 turns to muscle these cars around this 2.5-mile track tonight. What are you looking for as we get set to go racing?
Well, I'm excited to see the old school version of Pocono. I just did a handful of laps, just kind of warming up just to see what it's like, and it's a little bumpy out there. I think on iRace we talk about old bumpy Daytona, old bumpy Atlanta. Here's old bumpy Pocono, and the old layout. It's similar to the new layout, of course, just a little bit more, worn down asphalt. The other thing, we were talking before we came on the air about the expanded grass on the infield, so it's just a little unique to see the views here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Excited to watch tonight. I think this race will probably trend to these guys are really great at being able to keep these races clean and green. I think that typically happens in all Pocono races anyways, so this group is going to more than likely run long green flag. We'll see if they can hit a couple green flag pit stops. I think you could do it maybe on 2, maybe 3, depending on if you want tires, but we'll see. Excited to see the strategy. I always love that you can pit here and not lose the lap if you want. That's a unique part of Pocono.
I think you're right, Ross. Tires are going to be at a premium here tonight. Really, the trick to this track with its long straightaways is to really keep those rear tires underneath you as long as you can, so you can get that run down the straightaways for as long as you can and keep that speed up, so you're not getting passed like you're sitting still going down the Long Pond straightaway and this front stretch, which is the longest front stretch on the OSRL schedule this season. Interesting little note there. But let's take you through the points going into tonight. Josh Chin sits atop the points leaderboard with 4 wins on the season at 360 points coming into tonight, followed by Kendall Carpenter, last week's winner, with his lone win on the season, sits at 295. So a sizable gap for Chin, and it's still what we expected. With 4 wins on the season, it's going to be hard for anybody to run Chin down as we get into the back half of this schedule. Jacob A. Wilkerson, 2 wins on the season, 285, really tightening up that battle for that second spot in the championship. And Nate Stewart as well, right there, 262 with a win as well. All 4 of the top 4 drivers can command each of the checkered flags this season, not letting any spoilers come in and steal the show. The race win battle has been maintained by the championship points battlers up at the top of the leaderboard. Tonight's race is another no bull race night in OSRL Premier Series, a new promotion this season to try and generate some more excitement. So tonight's, if you aren't familiar with the no bull format, 5 drivers from the top 5 finishers of the previous no bull race are entered into their own little competition, and if one of those 5 win tonight, they will receive an extra $25 bonus for winning the race. Those drivers tonight are Jacob Wilkerson, Cole Freilich, Josh Chin, Kendall Carpenter, and Jack Painter. So look for those drivers on track. They'll be running for an extra little bonus here tonight, trying to get some extra dough here at the Tricky Triangle. As the pace car takes this field around the final turn 3 here at Pocono, let's run through our starting lineup here tonight. Sitting on pole position, Mo Perry in that 31 car with Spencer Madden to his outside in second.
And starting row number 2, the 02 of John Daniels and the 70 of Harry Grindell.
That top 4 really interesting. I'll be paying attention to them a lot tonight to see if they can stay up there. Row 3 starts the championship contenders in Kendall Carpenter rolling off from the 5th position with Nolan Sanford to his outside in 6th.
Starting 7th, Jacob Wilkerson. You talked about him. 2 wins so far this season. And then James Bomar starts 8th.
Previous series champion Cole Freilich lines up in the 9th position. Cole having kind of an off year so far. No wins on the season. He'll be looking to bounce back and change that here tonight. Rolling off from the 9th spot with Griffin Jones to the outside in 10th.
11th is the 93 of Joshua Chin, our points leader. You talked about it, Kendall Carpenter, eat into that points lead. Though this is a start, it'll be fun to see Josh Chin driving up from 11th. Levi Wolf in the 7 will start next to Josh in 12th.
Nathan Kiani rolls off from the 13th spot with Emery Spence to the outside in 14th.
06 of Brett Bennett in 15th, and the 048 of Gavin Newton in 16th.
Adam Harrington rolls off from the 17th spot with Michael Deitch to the outside in 18th. And as the drivers come through the final turn, we'll just run you through the last little bit of the order here. Braden Movick rolls off 19th. William Schmidt, look for him to be going forward, rolls off from the 20th spot. Jack Painter as well, deep in the field at 21st. John Felber, 22nd. Marty Farrell, 23rd. And John Szulczewski rolls off from the 24th spot. Green flag is out. We are racing here in the Poconos. Already a huge fan out here as they rocket through turn number 1. It's going to be a drag race down the Long Pond straightaway between Mo Perry and Spencer Madden for that number 1 spot. It looks like Madden's going to have it as they get into turn number 2. Slips up. Here comes Mo Perry once again. He wants it back. Another drag race down the short chute into turn number 3. Who's going to have it as they fire off into that 3rd turn?
Yeah, that tunnel turn back in turn 2 can really set up the whole lap. And the Madden was, just got a little bit off to the right, exiting the corner. That gave Mo Perry the opportunity to get back farther in the pack. They are 2, 3, 4 wide at times through this first lap and a half so far. Trying to gain some positions right away. It's a big wide track opportunity here for these drivers to move up and gain those positions. Everybody close together right now.
You said it, Ross. 4, 5 wide, even going into turn number 1. Some guys ripping the wall, and Harry Grindell there, who has now moved himself up into around about the 7th or so position, but is under fire from Jacob Wilkerson, who's been on fire this season here, as we've got one car up in the wall. I believe that's the 20 of Kendall Carpenter, and that looked like it affected Nolan Sanford in the 52. Now he's going to slip back into the clutches of Harry Grindell as they come back into turn number 3. They'll be side by side off the corner.
Wilkerson going to look to the inside here, a little close to that's John Daniels there in the 02. So that's a close battle. Some of these front runners, once you get away a little bit, you can get single file. You can see the top 3 kind of just pulled away. Now 4th and 5th going to try to do the same. But yeah, some great action right away. We see these drivers really close to the wall up off of turn 1 here. And it's a tough track to get around, trying to get as much momentum off the corner and use it down these long straightaways.
Now, the thing about these cars, Ross, is we see Nolan Sanford really slam it into turn number 2. Got 2 tires down on the grass. Big moment for the driver of the 52, riding in the 8th spot right now. The thing about these cars, Ross, there's not really a whole lot of side draft that you can do, whereas we see in the modern day NASCARs that race on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. These cars just, for some reason, don't have that aero effect of dumping air on the car next to them as they drive up. And so when you have a poor launch off of the corner, you're just kind of a sitting duck. You don't have an opportunity to drag somebody back to you if they get a better run to you on your inside or outside. And we're going to see that here tonight as now Josh Chin takes a position from Nolan Sanford as they head off into turn number 2.
Yeah, it's definitely, obviously, really, this is the type of car you don't, I think years ago they used to say in some of the old video games, you don't race the pack, you race the track. Here, you definitely race the track, and it's just wherever the rest of the cars are. You just kind of have to be aware of your surroundings. You can't necessarily affect the cars around you too much unless it's, actual contact, which I don't think they want to do here at a track like Pocono. But yeah, it's really, finding the right lanes, and you can't be perfect on all these corners. It always seems like you're going to be just okay at a couple of them, and you can also, it's just so hard to be perfect every time too. If you get a corner that you're good at, or you feel like you can operate it really well, it's just so easy to mess it up occasionally and not be perfect all the time.
Each of the 3 corners at this 2.5-mile triangle track are different in every way, shape, or form. Each of the corners based off of a previous or another track that already existed at the time of Pocono's construction. Turn number 1 was based off of, I believe it was the Trenton, New Jersey Speedway. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ross.
That's
on
right.
that one. Turn number 2 based on the ever famous Indianapolis Motor Speedway with those rectangular corners, which explains the 90-degree, roughly 90-degree angle out in turn number 2 over the tunnel. And turn number 3, the banking and angle based off of the Milwaukee Mile, the oldest speedway in North America. So Pocono pulling its character from some already really famous racetracks, and it produces some great racing here as we look on as Nolan Sanford still continues to slip back. He's now down to the 8th position, make it 9th position, looking still fighting alongside Harry Grindel. Now it looks like Grindel will get the spot as he's got the outside momentum down this long straightaway, move Harry Grindel up into the 9th spot.
It's interesting. I just looked over and just looking at the lap times, and a lot of drivers hitting their fastest lap here within the last lap or two. And it just, to me, that shows a couple things. We saw how close everybody was at the start of the race. Sometimes you just got to give it a little bit more room around the people you're around when you're racing. What you're seeing like 3 and 4 wide. But not only that, there's just not as much tire fall off as we kind of talked about. That maybe there wouldn't be a lot here. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, a lot of these drivers, once they get settled in, they're able to hit even faster laps. So really interesting part of this. I see Joshua Chin up 5 spots. We talked about him driving up from 11th. John Daniels and Harry Grindel made up that second row. Both of them moved backwards a handful of spots on the start. Here's the 97 trying to move up, maybe falling back a little bit. Maybe not.
Yeah, it looked like Jack had a big moment there off of turn number 3. Went all the way down to that inside that pit wall, basically. So either Jack had a moment off of turn number 3, or was just going down there to avoid any side draft. I know we just talked about it not really playing a factor, but anything helps. And Jack Painter's looking for all the help that he can get, being mired way back in the 17th position as he sits 5th in our championship standings, looking to move forward and make up some ground on his rivals, who are all up in front of him at the current moment.
Looking to the inside of John Felber here down the straightaway. It's just so easy when you get somebody. I saw Josh. I guess that'd be Emery Spence a little bit farther back. Just kind of mess up the tunnel turn. Next thing you know, you're kind of under attack immediately. So it just seems like that. It's so easy when you do mess up that all of a sudden you have to battle with the driver behind you for a while, and you see multiple cars behind just trying to get caught up here. Marty Farrell to the inside. This is a really tough spot going into turn 2 side by side. You kind of almost have to stop to give room, and then you see here comes the 7 right behind of Levi Wolf, just keeping everybody kind of close together in this group as they try to navigate these turns.
See, now this is another thing with this racetrack and this car in particular, Ross, that I wanted to touch on, and it's something that I haven't gotten to experience for a little bit because there may have been a couple patches since I've raced this car track combo. But a while ago, when they first unveiled the Gen 4 with this new with the draft model, there was a lot of, I know I talked about no side draft, but the straight up slipstream was absolutely insane on these cars, and it would keep these packs together, as you're starting to kind of see right now here in about the 10th spot. Freilich, John Felber, Harry Grindel, this pack is all staying together. Of course, it could be because it looks like maybe Felber there in the 02 is it might be holding some people, or sorry, that's John Daniels in the 02. Got my Johns mixed up. Could be just holding each other up, but for a while there, the slipstream and draft in these cars was absolutely insane, and you could not break away. It seemed like that 3 and 4 car breakaways were inevitable with this car track combo there for a while. It appears to have been fixed and patched out here, as we've got kind of a 3-car battle for the lead, so I might have to eat my words here. But that was an interesting point that I really wanted to look for tonight as we went into this race. Is now Kendall Carpenter is taking the fight to Jacob Wilkerson. Those two sitting second and third in the championship battle respectively, and they're also sitting second and third on track, trying to sort out who's going to get the honor of going after Spencer Madden for the lead.
Wilkerson kind of got to Madden through the tunnel turn last time, and it kind of just ultimately wasn't able to get back to the gas, exiting the corner, being close to Madden there, and then that just gave the opportunity to Carpenter. So Carpenter now going to have an opportunity a little farther back from that 6 of Madden to make something happen here. We'll see if he can set up the tunnel turn. You know, it's such a fun corner when you get it right, because you can get a lot of momentum off that corner, but then the opposite is true too. You make a mistake and it's super easy to just have no momentum all the way, through turn 3 here. All 3 of them did a great job getting through there, and yeah, we'll see if that 6 is able to kind of maybe pull back away a little bit. And meanwhile, Mo Perry back and forth, still staying somewhat close to these 3, but gonna kind of get settled down here now, lap 13.
They head off into turn number 1 once again. Wilkerson looking low. Kendall Carpenter slams the door on him, but now opens it back up here as Wilkerson's going to have a run down alongside of him. Who's going to have it as they get down into the tunnel turn after this long pond straightaway? Drag race down the back. Wilkerson has the spot now as they head off into turn number 2.
Yeah, it almost looked like Carpenter kind of gave Wilkerson that opportunity to get back in front of him. It's super easy, especially for second and third. You want to continue to stay in touch with the leader to maybe just let him go and not race side by side and just let the 6 get away. And now Wilkerson's going to have an opportunity. Closed up really nice there into turn 3, but just being so close there, I think just hard to get back to the gas on the exit, especially when you enter the corner a little bit harder. So equal gaps. Now we'll see what I think Wilkerson's going to have a shot here at the 6. We saw it before. I think definitely going to make a run here in the next few laps. We'll see if gets that opportunity. A little bit of momentum here, but maybe just going to have to wait another corner or 2.
Yeah, that was a textbook set of laps there for Wilkerson, who when Kendall Carpenter had caught him from all that time back, let Carpenter go, sat there behind, watched his line, watched where he ran, then made his move at the perfect moment down the long pond straightaway, and was able to re-secure this second position, and has now opened up a little bit of a gap between him and the driver of the number 20 car, so that he can focus his efforts on that lead car in the 6th of Madden as we get a shot down from our chopper cam here on this 3-car battle for the lead spot here at lap number 15 at the Pocono Raceway.
And Madden was the faster driver of this top 5 now of the on that last lap there, just by a 10th. So great job being out front, being able to hit your marks and make this work. Try to keep this lead. You see Mo Perry in the screen there, and then our points leader Joshua Chin up to 5th, and slowly but surely catching up to this front 4. Make it a 5-driver battle here for the lead on this long run. Wilkerson, I think, that it's so inviting into turn 2 to feel like you can maybe try to get close to him, but I think this is where he's going to need to do it, is exiting 3 or even exiting 1, getting the run. Going to be really close to Madden here, entering turn 1, as we got a pit stop from James Bomar.
Yeah, this is interesting, Ross. Bomar, and it looks like he's disconnected, so not sure what happened there, but we wish James Bomar the best as he retires from tonight's event, and that will move everyone up 1 spot from the 6th position on back. So Cole Freilich now moves into the 6th spot, as there has been a dogfight for that position the last couple laps. We've been entertained by this lead battle up at the front, which is now heating up even more as Wilkerson draws a bead alongside the 6th of Spencer Madden, fires it off into turn number 3, and it's going to be a drag race off of the corner and down this long straightaway. Who's going to have it at the line? Looks like Wilkerson, but here comes Madden powering back on the outside. Give it to Wilkerson there at the line.
And Madden did a good job of just hanging in there to stay on that outside off of 3, to have that opportunity to just stay there. I think Wilkerson's going to drive in a little deeper here. Just a kind of a weird spot there for Madden. Going to maybe try the crossover, but I think his timing just was not perfect. It's going to bring Kendall Carpenter right here. They're going to be all 3 of them right next to each other, entering the tunnel turn.
Yeah, that brought Carpenter right back into the fray. Who's going to have to give up any position, if anything? Whoa, Wilkerson messed up the tunnel turn. Here comes Madden down on the inside now. The 6th car moving him back to that pole position there. What a move from driver number 6 going into 3.
It's going to give Carpenter the opportunity down the inside. Maybe try to get both of them. Nice job of holding down the bottom on turn 3 and getting back to the gas and having the momentum here. Going to have the run down into turn 1. I think this is going to be Kendall Carpenter's lead. He'll see if he drives it in a little deep here. You got to just try to get clear of that 6. It's going to be close. He's still there. Madden's going to have an opportunity to grab this lead back.
Boy,
keep it.
Look at the 6 car just rip that 3rd lane around turn number 1, and has absolutely walked the dog on these 2 championship contenders down the long pond straightaway. A gap opening up now about 2 or 3 car lengths as he looks back into the tunnel turn, this time on lap number 18. Masterclass by Spencer Madden to retain this lead over 2 dogs going for a absolutely massive bone in the championship.
And you wonder how this, battling, does this affect your tires at all? Is this going to, wear out your stuff and ultimately give the opportunity to, Mo Perry and Josh Shin? They've pretty much just been sitting there 4th and 5th enjoying the show like we are, watching these guys battle and go at it. So we'll see if these front 3 start to fall back. You're probably about 2/3 of the way through your fuel run here, so you could go another 10 laps or so, and I think you're going to want to, especially with the green flag feel that we got going here. So we'll see if Carpenter has an opportunity. I saw when Wilkerson kind of got that lead and went into the tunnel turn. When you're leading this race for the first time and you go through that tunnel turn, it's just so easy to mess up that corner when you don't have someone in front of you. And I think that maybe is what happened. Like I said, it's hard to be perfect every single time in these corners here, just because they're flat. And so, we say it's the tricky triangle. It's tricky. So I think just maybe the first time leading, and you don't have. Oh,
big
we got
contact there in the back. You see it there, Ross. Big moment there for, I believe that's the driver. That's Cole Freilich in the 15 off the nose of Braden Movick, two perennial favorites in OSRL Premier Series competition. Looked like too close for comfort down there on the front straightaway as Freilich, a whale of a job to save that car, was all the way down at the pit wall. Let's go back and look at it one more time. What a moment, Ross.
I mean, if you're gonna get crossed up on the front stretch, this is the front stretch to do it at. Plenty of room to gather it back up. Let's see here. Maybe just a little too close between the two.
Ooh, and Freilich is hot on the radio. Hasn't let that mic button go for the last lap and a half. As it looked like Braden might have been just trying to enact that side draft a little too aggressively. Look, he's so far up over him there. A whale of a job once again by both drivers to keep it straight and keep it green. Look at this wiggle down the front straightaway.
I don't think it's, Freilich's issue, but, when you're driving down the front straight or any of these straightaways, you kind of have a little bit of a, sway to the car sometimes. And it looked like just as Movick was there, it just gave Freilich no opportunity to have a little bit of that sway going on, if at all. So once he moved over just a little bit, because Movick wasn't giving him any room, it sent him. So I could see where Freilich was upset. I totally get it. It's lap 20 something, and you want some room, but they both back at it, and we'll see what comes of it. But meanwhile, up front, Wilkerson going to try to get to the inside of the 6 here, as Carpenter's been able to get out front here and try to pull away.
Yeah, all that fiasco there for the 6th spot between Movick and Freilich has allowed this group of 5 to scamper away now. And in particularly, the leader in Kendall Carpenter has scampered away from 2nd place now as Spencer Madden slots back into the 3rd spot. Carpenter's opened up almost an 8/10 of a gap lead over top of his championship rival in Jacob Wilkerson.
And you're wondering that if, Spencer just, ultimately just moving back after leading this for a while, maybe doing as much as possible, playing defense to try to hold this lead. Is this going to, like we said, maybe, use up his stuff a little bit? This is, the closest we've seen Josh Chin up here to the front 3. He was able to get around Mo Perry. See how much that 6, if he can stay there, or if he continues to fall back here. I think Chin's going to have an opportunity. Maybe look to the inside. But I think Wilkerson has definitely got the best opportunity here, especially the second half of the run. I think he's just been pretty patient with it, and not afraid to set up his passes, and not in any rush to get up there and grab that lead.
Josh Chin still drawing a beat alongside of Spencer Ray as they fire it off down into turn number 1. Give the advantage to Chin now. Spencer looked to try and do a crossover move in the middle of the corner. Chin hugged the bottom of that of turn number 1 and didn't let him have it. Moved Chin solidly into 3rd position. So now, once again, Ross, as we've seen it so many times in these races this season, your championship leaders have all started to come towards the front here and at least have taken up 3 of the top 5 positions.
And all still running decent lap times and faster than the other drivers here up in this top 5. We'll see. Wilkerson was 0.2 faster than Carpenter on that last lap. This lap here they just finished, another 0.2, so definitely closing back up on this 20. See if really doing a great job driving into 1 there, and then getting it kind of turned enough that then off of 1 has pretty much mirrors the exit of the 20 and able to take all of that advantage he got by driving into 1 and keep it really exiting one and maybe even gain a little bit. Same thing here in turn 2. You see closes up a little bit and then just doesn't lose much off the corner. So great job by Wilkerson being able to do that.
Yeah, a lot of times on corner entry, especially on these iRacing fixed setups, when you're gaining on corner entry, one of two things is happening. Either and neither of them are good. Either you're burning up the right front by getting into the corner too hard, or no one else is getting into the corner as hard as you are. And that appears to be the case here for Jacob Wilkerson, who is now drawn within 2 car lengths now of Kendall Carpenter, as this fight for the lead starting to shape back up again. As now Spencer Madden has fallen into the clutches of Mo Perry. So now your former leader, Spencer Madden, dropping out into the 5th position, all the way back to the 5th position as we get towards the end of this run.
We'll see what. This is an opportunity also as we close in on this pit stop. Do you take advantage and maybe Wilkerson, if you're sitting here in 2nd, do you try to jump on a pit road a lap before Carpenter? I think with this fuel, the number we're looking at, I'm thinking it's about 32 laps would be the maximum you can go. And I think, with a big track like this, that ultimately, even if you go as far as 32, if you were using up your stuff, we had 2 pace laps, you could be really close to that lap 30 window. And that's the window to make this race, 3 segments basically, and just making it on 2 stops. So I think there's a very good likelihood that all these drivers kind of all pit at the same time. We've seen that in some of these OSRL races this year. So I think that's just because of where the window falls, and the perfect pit lap would be around 30 or 31. So we'll see if that happens. Wilkerson's going to have another. Just seems like gets the run down the straightaway, but not enough to make the pass, or at least draw to the inside yet. We'll see if he can set him up off the exit of 1 here. Going to have a run for sure.
Yeah, Wilkerson was hugging that bottom line, hugging the curb basically in turn number 3, and that allowed him to get that run right up to the back bumper of Kevin Carpenter. It looks like it's going to happen again down into the tunnel turn. Not quite enough room there to make the pass this time, as had a little bobble up off of turn number 2, so Carpenter's going to scamper back away a little bit here. It's so funny watching the cat and mouse game going on between the driver of the 20 car and the driver of the number 43, sorting it all out on these older tires here. As now Josh Chin hits pit road. What an interesting development, Ross. We've got our first taker on pit road to come get fresh tires in your championship leader, Josh Chin. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, I like the idea of get your tires early. He might be able to, with such a big track here, even if these front 2 hit here coming to lap 30, could they, does that mean Chin is able to use that full long, almost a 50-second lap, 54-second lap, can really use that to maybe even jump these 2 just by hitting 1 lap early. It's going to put him right on the outside of the window, though. So going to have to really make sure you have no issues with burning up too much fuel. The last 2 runs going to be right on that window. Here comes the front 2. Going to hit pit road together.
Yep, you're going to have a lot of takers this time on pit road, all in response to Josh Chin hitting pit road last time by. Here comes Carpenter. Here comes Wilkerson. Spencer Madden's down pit lane. Cole Freilich, pretty much the entirety of the top 14, save Nolan Sanford and John Daniels, have elected to come down and get fresh rubber here on lap number 30.
4 tires here because you got to fill it up all the way. If this is lap 30, basically we're going to probably see a lot of them trying to make it back to lap 60 for the next pit stop. Carpenter's away. Probably did a little bit better than Wilkerson on entry, and then just through pit road about equal, but on exit, because of that great entry by Carpenter, he was able to get away from Wilkerson a little bit here. We'll see where this cycles them out. Looks like Josh Chin is going to get to the inside of Wilkerson. So Carpenter did a great job, not only beating Wilkerson, but ultimately keeping Josh Chin at bay here, because Josh Chin's going to be back a little bit farther from Wilkerson now, but able to, or sorry, Carpenter, and able to make the pass on Wilkerson.
Yeah, Carpenter had a spectacular pit sequence there, opening up what looks to be about a second, maybe a second and a half gap over these two championship rivals of his. There goes Carpenter at the line right now, and there is Josh Chin and Jacob Wilkerson. So a huge gap developed by Kendall Carpenter on pit lane, and that just shows you how important these pit stops are, where you can get that amount of time in and amongst the slowness of pit road here as things start to cycle back around. We're going to cut to a quick break here, and we will catch you back up on the action in the pit sequence right after a message from these sponsors.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early, when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you're buzzed and doing this to make yourself feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive.
Welcome back to the World 360 on Split Second Broadcasting. Today's race is brought to you in part by our friends over at Roundabout Gaming. On November 21st, join the Roundabout Gaming crew for a 24-hour marathon of gaming, all to benefit children. It's the 2025 24 hours of games, all to benefit Extra Life. You can watch and make a donation on twitch.tv/roundaboutpro or youtube.com/roundabout/ at RA_pro gaming. 100% of all donations go straight to Extra Life to benefit Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Join Roundabout Gaming as they play games to heal kids. As we've got caution on the speedway here, Ross, I believe we're looking at, is that the 02 of John Daniels having some trouble?
Yeah, looking on the, we'll have to get a replay here, but it looked like to me basically a kind of a coming together of three drivers in the tunnel turn. William Schmidt was leading. Looked like John Daniels going to try to slide in between William Schmidt and Jack Painter, and Painter got a little too close to Daniels and and picked him up off the ground and sent him for a ride. So definitely, I think you're just kind of trying to fall back in here. If you're Painter, you're maybe trying to get, you see a little blood in the water, an opportunity. Don't blame Painter for being aggressive and trying to make a pass on 2 drivers in front of him, but I think if you're Daniels, you're probably a little disappointed in that move.
Absolutely. Here as we ride on board with John Daniels as he gets sent around by the 97 of Jack Painter, and like you said, you can't really blame Jack for going for that move right there. That's 5th in the championship points right there, sitting right in front of him, whereas Jack Painter is 6th there between him and William Schmidt. So racing on the track and racing in the points, and unfortunately John Daniels gets caught up in it and sent into the outside wall. Doesn't look like a whole lot of damage to that car. Maybe can get repaired here, especially with how long the pace laps are at this racetrack. But speaking of pit stops, we've got a split decision up here, Ross.
Yeah, we had Kendall Carpenter and Josh Shin both kind of faked out like they were coming to pit road, then ultimately didn't. Our top, we got 7 drivers, I guess 8 drivers that are staying out here. Braden Movick, Spencer Madden, Nolan Sanford, William Schmidt, who was just in close to that incident. Jack Painter, who was in the incident, or at least got into Daniels, all hitting pit road here. This doesn't do too much ultimately to the strategy. I think still you're going to wait, try to get that last pit stop in sometime post lap 60. The one thing that this does is it gives some of these drivers maybe an opportunity to just kind of reset here. If you're coming down a pit road, you can maybe go a little bit farther on that last before that last pit stop, and maybe that gives you an opportunity depending on if another caution falls. I think if you're the leaders, I think it was smart to stay out. You just got a couple laps on your tires here. Going to give you the chance to keep the track position, and ultimately you're now the one thing that's nice is we talked about it. They were basically pitting right on the windows when they opened, because basically that's when they were running out of gas. Now with an extra caution here, this gives them just a little more wiggle room to maybe see some split decision as far as when they make the green flag pit stop. We saw Josh Chin make that lap early pit than the front runners. Maybe we could see a little bit more separation because they have some flexibility now with this caution here.
I will be very interested to see, because it looks like the top 7 have all stayed out, from Kendall Carpenter up in first all the way back to Nathan Kiani running in the 7th spot. Everyone else behind them, being led by Braden Movick, has elected to come down and get fresh rubber. And while it's only an 7 or 8 lap difference in tires, I'll be very interested to see how that plays into effect as we get longer out into a run, because there's not a whole lot of fall off to these tires, but when it happens, it is very noticeable compared to new tires, strictly because of how long these straightaways are and how big the difference is in the kind of drive off the corners that you can get at Pocono Raceway.
And I think we have, there's 4 sets of tires in the pits here, so ultimately, if you did decide to use a set there, you still have 2 more sets, and if we have a feeling that it's probably likely we can still go green, but we saw it on that first start, the initial start of this race, how chaotic it was with everybody in the pack together. I think it's going to be a little crazy here on this restart. We'll see if we can get through it and get back spread out again. But I think there could be some action here on this restart.
Absolutely, especially with that difference in tires right there at the 9th position. As it looks like now Jack Painter is actually going to be the lead car of the group that has taken tires now, with Brett Bennett being in the 8th spot. So I apologize for the miscall on that. But yeah, we're going to have to look and see. That's going to be the spot where all the moves are being made on this restart here, as Pace Truck leads this field back through turn number 3 with Kendall Carpenter and Josh Chin, your leaders. Kendall Carpenter electing the outside lane on this restart. Very interesting choice there. Pace car dives onto pit lane. Green flag is back out. We're under green once again here in the Poconos, and Kendall Carpenter is away with a shot. Opened up a 3-car length gap already. As here we go, 3 wide in the back already, going down into turn number 1. I believe that is the 52 of Nolan Sanford, and here goes everybody else. 3, 4 wide now through turn number 1. How will they get it sorted off of turn number 2 and down the long pond straightaway?
It's easy to go 3 wide through that front stretch through turn 1, but this is the area you got to get down to at least 2 by 2 if you can. See, Mo Perry and Harry Grindell were on the outside, kind of lose a little bit of time, just kind of get stuck up there, and just basically brings the inside lane together. And now 3 wide again for, here comes Freilich looking to the inside of Perry here with, oh man, that's tight off of turn 3 there, but this is farthest up we've seen Freilich really this whole race, so we'll see what he can do now, being up here and trying to use this track position.
Yeah, track position absolutely king in a big long track like this. Is Harry Grindell trying to put a nose where a car doesn't belong there. Now looks to the outside, nothing doing. Freilich covers the spot, who now looks to the inside on Kiani. Big action down the long pond straightaway here on lap number 39 of 90 in the World 360. Because now they'll come up off of the corner side by side. Now Freilich tucks back in line as Spencer Madden there. Now I believe he's the one leading the charge now with these new tires. I really would have thought, Ross, that as Harry Grindell, hard contact on the outside wall, he's going to lose several positions now, falling all the way back on this long straightaway. I really would have thought, Ross, that the new tires would have had a little bit more of a jump, but I guess they hadn't come up to temperature like those 7 or 8 lap older tires on that restart. A very interesting sequence there.
You know, we talked about it on that first run too, when everybody was on equal tires, how it seemed like the first couple laps, just takes time to get away from each other, and then everybody was running their faster laps after a couple laps. So even if you have the fresh tires, it might be something you gotta...
Jack Painter gets into the 42 of Braden Mummick. They get it, save some blinking from Harry Grindell. Another huge moment for the driver of that 42 car in Braden Mummick, because we've got one car down in the grass. That's Marty Farrell, who gets it saved and righted the course again as we go through turn number 3. Big moments here in the back of this, in the back/mid pack here on lap number 41.
And still kind of getting together on the front stretch here too. Just can't get away from each other. Even though the big wide track with plenty of room. It's we talked about the momentum changing and how that can really stack up everybody. And this group here is 2 by 2 in some ways, and then you get a stack up, and next thing you know, they're slicing and dicing around each other.
They're not just going to battle, Ross. These guys back here in the 11th and 12th positions on back, they're going to war as Jack Painter and Braden Mummick, 2 drivers who have been in some sticky situations already tonight, adding more to that resume. Is now Harry Grindell a little loose off of turn number 3. He's going to lose 2 more spots now to Nolan Sanford, and Braden Mummick slips by on the inside. I mean, just getting after it here, but unfortunately that has allowed pretty much the entire top 10 to distance themselves from the back of this pack. As we get farther on into this one, that's going to be a hard gap to make up, as we see another dive down in there by the 97 car, this time on Braden Mummick, who was doing a whale of a job to correct that car and get back up into the get the ship righted and carry on, as Mummick now makes the move on the 52 of Nolan Sanford going down into turn number 3.
Yeah, we've seen Painter really driving it into turn 2 tonight, and get into a couple drivers too, but that's going after it, I guess. And sometimes everybody has their own style as far as how you attack some of these corners. I know the tunnel turn a lot of times, and no matter what the car is, I'm always like, I'm going to ease it in there and just try to get it pointed to get the drive off. But for some, if you can drive it in there deeper than anybody else, you might be able to pick up some spots. So,
yeah, that really is a corner that you can. There's a lot of different schools of thought to make time through that corner, and it seems like some of them work one lap and others work a different lap. So it really is hard to measure and predict what's going to happen through each of those corners. So, and then you get instances like what's happened to the 97 tonight, as we look and see William Schmidt and Cole Freilich here drag racing down the front straightaway. That's for the 7th position on track here. As we take a look at the points as they run there on your right-hand side, Josh Chin has still holding a commanding lead over the rest of this field, but Kendall Carpenter now still got a little bit of a gap over Jacob Wilkerson, because Wilkerson has moved himself back into the second position on track and is now tracking down the leader in Kendall Carpenter. Got that gap down to around about half a second, Ross, as we get farther on into this run.
I think that caution really ultimately was a huge help to Wilkerson. We saw Carpenter do just a great job on the green flag pit stop, able to be able to expand that gap to second, and then Josh Chin, who pitted a lap before Wilkerson and Carpenter, was able to use that extra lap to close in on Wilkerson and then just make the pass on second on Wilkerson shortly after he rejoined the track. So Wilkerson was pretty far back from the leader at that point. We've talked about it. I think Wilkerson seems to be the best, especially the second half of the run. I think this gives him another opportunity to go after Carpenter here and maybe try to get the lead, where if that would have stayed green, it maybe would have been, got the wall a little bit there. It looked like Carpenter maybe did too, just maybe following each other into the wall. But giving it all they got here, even mid portions of this race.
If that doesn't tell you how hard these drivers are going for this lead, I don't know what will. Both your top two with wall contact there out of turn number 2 as we've reached the halfway point of this 90-lap race. Ross, this is a long race, and we've still got the back half of this thing to go. Who are you looking for as we've reached this halfway point? Can you make a prediction on who you think's gonna pull this one out?
I think if we get a green flag pit stop, just by the way that Carpenter did such a great job, I think he's got to be the favorite. Just an awesome job of hitting that green flag pit stop. It can't be greedy, and maybe Wilkerson and Josh Shin, maybe they learned a little bit as far as where the braking point is to get down to pit road, but Wilkerson definitely seems to have the better car on the long run. Shout out to William Schmidt. Just going to bring up the fact that he started 20th, just slowly making his way up. We saw him, he's 4th in points, all the way up to 7th now. Just doing a great job of just slowly making his way up to this top 5.
A little bit of a moment back there in the back of the pack, way at the back of this pack here, as they're still beating and banging off of each other there for about the 14th position there with the 97 of Jack Painter and the 4 of Adam Harrington. They're still side by side. Ross, something happened through turn 3 last time by, and they haven't been able to sort it out now as Harrington goes back around the outside of Jack Painter. The number 6 driver in the championship not really having an ideal night tonight here, Ross, as even more contact back there behind him between the 03 and the 53.
Getting at it here when you're close to close quarters with each other, and I think just effective momentum, you can jump each other and then ultimately trade a little bit of paint. As William Schmidt going to look to the inside here of Kiani for 6th. Johnny maybe going to try the crossover, but I'm just not sure if he's close enough. Freilich is looking maybe going to try to go 3 wide here.
Make it 3 wide is Cole Freilich down into the tunnel turn. That's not going to work. Who's going to back out of it? Nobody does, and through shoots Freilich. What a move from the driver of the 15 car to get 2 positions in 1 tunnel turn. William Schmidt was just hung out there to dry and had no choice but to back way out of it. And through goes Freilich up to the 7th position. Make it the 6th position, actually.
Yeah. These guys battle. I think, we talked about Freilich being a little fired up that last run down, with the incident on the front stretch. Going after it here. Gained 2 spots that last lap. These drivers in the back here. Like I said, a little bit of a reset, being able to come down. I think a lot of them, just looking at what I'm seeing, maybe not a lot of them actually took tires, maybe saving those 3 sets still on pit road, and maybe just put in fuel, and that's maybe, whoa, a big slide there. Is that Kiani off of 2? So maybe when you talked about the idea of some of these drivers and seeing if they were going to move forward on tires, part of it might be just the fact that maybe a lot of them just were looking at fuel at that point, or at least trying to save some of those sets for later, just in case we do have a run of cautions later.
Well, you want to talk about tires, as we've gotten about, basically the halfway point in this run for those guys on newer tires. The driver of the number 6 car in Spencer Madden is the highest running car that has newer tires, and he has set himself up well. If that gap can continue to decrease as the older tires really start to age, they've only got about, maybe 8-9 more laps in them before they have to come down and get more fuel and get new tires. As Kiani, another slide there on the outside of William Schmidt. They're both dirt tracking through turn number 3. Spencer Madden really starting to cut through these older tires here as he's moved himself up into the 5th spot with only Kendall Carpenter, Wilkerson, Mo Perry, and Josh Chin up in front of him with older tires. And Spencer is not far off of that 93 of Joshua Chin, trying to make it up to the 4th spot.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens if this goes green. But what I'd love to see him do is run this as far as you can. You can go, an extra 5, maybe 6 laps. Then these front runners, a lot of these front runners might jump down pit road a little early, just trying to get those tires early. If you run as far as you can and then make your pit stop, if a caution comes out, then you could maybe jump some of these drivers that are maybe been out on tires for a couple laps, or maybe you just restart behind them with a couple lap fresher tires. We've seen that 6 be really fast on the short run. I think that would be kind of the goal here. Definitely going to be able to run a little bit farther here on this run, and we'll see if that's the advantage he's going to use, or if he decides to ultimately make it enough lap time here. If you're close enough, do you hit with these front runners and then try to race with them just a little bit farther back than those front 2, though?
Yeah, the top 2 have really opened up a gap around about 3 seconds on Mo Perry running 3rd, but Spencer Madden, another second back from Mo Perry. I think he can get that gap at least taken care of in this run. We'll have to see how he handles the top 2 dominators of the evening that have been Kendall Carpenter and Jacob Wilkerson, who look like they're about to start sparring again. That gap has started to shrink now between your top 2 front runners. The gap was at 0.8 of a second. Now it's round about 6. As you can see, Wilkerson just hanging the car out there off of turn number 2, trying to get everything that he can to draw a beat on Kendall Carpenter as we get down towards another round of pit stops for these guys on older tires.
Well, battling back here. Looks like around about the 15th position, John Felber here. 24, Marty Farrell looking to the inside. We saw Marty down in the grass not long ago. Get back up here and gain some spots. Maybe try to look to the inside of Levi Wolf here. Now get a little bit to the outside for Farrell. Gonna try to get a run here. And battle with Levi Wolf. Ultimately, a car length between the two. They both exit about the same pace.
As we look back up at the front of the field, I'll tell you what, Josh Chin has really started to fall off in this run. And it was something that I kind of expected to see towards the middle of these runs. It seems like when just noticing Josh's driving patterns, he seems to go a little bit easier in the mid section of tire runs and then really come on strong here at the end. But it looks like he's just straight up falling off, Ross, as now Cole Freilich has gotten by and moved himself into the top 5 position now. As Josh Chin, your points leader, continues to slip, now down to 6th, with William Schmidt not too far behind, looking to take another chunk out of that championship points lead.
No, I don't know if this is the case for Joshua Chin, but if you remember back when we started this race, I kind of laughed and I didn't say anything, but I kind of thought in my head, man, it's kind of a cloudy, kind of almost looked like a mist fog in the air. We see that a lot at real life Pocono, so I thought it looked pretty similar to what you'd see at a Pocono. But now, we really see it's pretty much baked in sun. So, maybe there's a little bit of track change. I did hear the drivers chatting during practice about how the sun and shade, depending on where it was on the track, definitely affected how the cars were driving. So you wonder if that's the case for Chin. Does that, maybe just not suiting him as well as it was maybe more in the shade earlier? But definitely something to consider for some of these drivers. It's just how the weather maybe has changed a little bit throughout this race.
Absolutely, definitely can play a factor because that sun gets out and it heats this track up in a hurry. And it looks like Josh Chin is the one who is falling victim to that, as now William Schmidt has drawn right up to the rear bumper of that 93 car going through the tunnel turn, and it has brought with him Braden Movick right back up into this. Movick's had a little bit of a interesting day going for a couple rides. But nice to see him working his way back up and through here. And it looks like he's going to try and take the fight to the 79 of Schmidt before Schmidt can even try to draw a bead on the 93 of Josh Chin as they fire off into turn number 1.
Going to try to make this a 3-car battle. Schmidt to the inside here. I think going to clear Chin. Nope, Chin's going to be on the outside. We're going to go 3 wide. Movick to the inside. He's got the momentum here. I think going to be able to get clear, at least entering turn 2 if he wants it. Does. Now Schmidt's going to get around Chin too.
What a move from Braden Movick there to get 2 in one corner. We saw Cole Freilich do it in turn number 2. Braden Movick said, I'll do you one better and do it in turn number 1. And do that move on 2 of your championship favorites there in Josh Chin and William Schmidt. So Braden Movick on the move as now he sets his sights on the top 5 in that currently is being held by Cole Freilich.
And I think Movick, as we saw, wasn't afraid to run a little bit long on that first green flag pit stop. So he was on pit road during that caution on lap 35. So he's one of these drivers, along with the 6, being able to go a little bit farther if he wants. I think we're going to see that again out of Movick just because he did it on the first run. Like that idea, just trying to go a little bit farther, let those front runners go get their potentially last set and let them use them up a little bit before you get yours, and then see where a caution flies and if it gives you an opportunity to take advantage of them. But yeah, Joshua Chin just slowly moving backwards here. We saw him pit early on that first run. I don't know if he can do it. We're closing in on that fuel window, opening up here in another lap. Should have no problem being able to pit and make it to the end if you want. I think the biggest problem now is if you're not in that top 3 or 4, if you pit, you might go down a lap, and that's something you probably want to avoid.
Absolutely. This is a long track, so it's really hard to go down a lap should we get during green flag pit stops. But not impossible, as as this field is really starting to get strung out here as the 43 of Wilkerson and the 20 of Kendall Carpenter have started to just walk the dog on the rest of this field here as they make their way through turn number 3, coming back to the front straightaway to complete lap number 59, going to 60 now. So now, Ross, we can expect these guys to start hitting pit road because this is that 2/3 mark in the race, and where that strategy of splitting it into thirds, this is about where we should start to see these guys come down and get gas and tires to take them to the end of the race.
And I see Wilkerson just been a tenth or two faster the last couple laps, closing up a little bit more on Carpenter. Not close enough to make a move yet, and I think they're going to be hitting pit road here in another lap or two. And if we'll see if Wilkerson learned anything from that first green flag pit stop and where Carpenter did such a great job entering pit road. That's maybe something, it's so easy. A lot of the times you get in these sessions as a driver, you're going through kind of your checklist. Sometimes it's really easy to forget to maybe do a run or two of coming down to pit road and nailing that pit stop. And maybe that was the practice run the first time, and this is going to be an opportunity for some of these drivers the second time. William Schmidt is still working on Cole Freilich here on the inside. Great battle. Heading into one, I think this time Schmidt's going to have it.
Oh, how times have changed. 2 seasons ago, we would have been almost guaranteed that this would have been a fight for the lead and the championship, but now these drivers mired back in the 5th and 6th spots, respectively, just fighting to stay in the top 5. As William Schmidt on the outside, Cole Freilich on the inside. Who's going to give up the spot? It looks like Freilich's going to back out this time, going into 2. Maybe no. We'll try and carry a little bit more momentum down through the short chute here, down to turn number 3. They're going to be side by side, still once again heading off into the final corner.
Looking for Freilich. He just messaged he's going to pit too. So staying close enough to William Schmidt. Now Josh Shin going to follow him down. And Kendall Carpenter's down, made it to pit road before Wilkerson.
Now that is interesting. Now your leader in Kendall Carpenter comes down and pits, but leaves Jacob Wilkerson, the second place driver, the only one who's really been able to contend with that 20 car, stays out for at least one more lap to try and preserve some tire wear later on in this race. And I like this move, Ross, actually, because Wilkerson was closing on Carpenter for the last about a third of that run. It just seemed like every time he would run a faster lap and would gain a tenth, sometimes 2 tenths, he'd slap that outside wall out of 2 specifically. He's been having trouble with that corner all night long, and that's what's been losing him. I think he'd be in the lead of this race at the end of a run. If he hadn't been hitting the wall as much as he did and losing momentum. I watched it happen at least twice at the end of that last run. But he'll come down and get service now as Carpenter has made his way back onto the racetrack and is now heading through turn number 3. So we'll have to see where the cycle is, where the cycle out when Wilkerson's service is complete here. Now he drives away, and Carpenter's going to flash by right now. So Carpenter retains his lead and actually expands it by, Ross, is going to be at least a 2, maybe 3 second lead that Carpenter's got on Wilkerson. But Wilkerson's got 1 lap fresher tires. Is that going to be the difference? With 26 laps to go here at Pocono.
I think Wilkerson definitely didn't do as well as Carpenter again on pit road, but definitely made up the difference compared to the last green flag pit stop. He definitely just a couple tenths slower on the overall entire pit lane speed. So I feel that definitely able to mirror what Carpenter was able to do. Maybe Carpenter, like I said, just a little bit better. He's going to have a lap fresher tires. That's not that bad of a gap considering Carpenter had an opportunity to run a full lap on fresh tires there. I think if this goes green here, I think Wilkerson's going to have a chance. It's just he's going to probably need all of these last 20-some laps to be able to chase chase him down. Meanwhile, Muvik and Maiden both ran a little bit longer. Muvik's still out there. Gonna try to run maybe another lap here. But I like this. I like the idea. You know, right now those front runners are using up their tires, and if you're Muvik, if you hit pit road here another lap or two, if the caution comes out at the right time, you could have a couple lap fresher tires, or even jump some of these drivers that maybe decide they want to come back down and grab another set.
Yeah, not a bad strategy there by Braden Muvik, who has had top 5, top 6, 7 speed here all night long. So Muvik trying to throw a little curveball at these front runners who have been so dominant tonight in Kendall Carpenter and Jacob Wilkerson, is now the driver of the 42 car, hits pit road this time, and will likely bring the rest of these guys back down, I have to assume, because they're really pushing the envelope on where these tires are going to start to be at the end of their life cycle. Muvik was one of the guys in that last pit sequence that elected to come down for that caution that set them offset of the leaders there. So this longer run being the result of that later pit stop. And that has allowed the 02 of John Daniels to stay out, lead some laps. Adam Harrington as well, Levi Wolf, John Szulcheski, some guys we haven't mentioned, getting some top 5 exposure here in the middle of this pit sequence here at lap number 66 of 90 here at Pocono. Let's step aside and take a quick break, and we'll come back and take you all the way to the finish here in the World 360.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early, when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you're buzzed and doing this to make yourself feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive.
OSRL on Split Second Broadcasting is brought to you in part by our friends over at Roundabout Gaming. On November 21st, join the Roundabout Gaming crew for a 24-hour marathon of gaming, all to benefit Children's Miracle Network hospitals. It's the 2025 24 hours of games, all to benefit Extra Life and their efforts to help Children's Miracle Network hospitals around the country. You can watch and make a donation on twitch.tv/roundaboutpro or youtube.com/roundabout or sorry, RA_pro gaming. 100% of all donations go straight to Extra Life. We do not see a dime of that money. Join us on Roundabout Gaming as we play games to help benefit kids in Children's Miracle Network hospitals. As we get back to the action here, 20 laps to go at Pocono, and Kendall Carpenter still holds about 2.5 second lead. Make it 2.2 now over Jacob Wilkerson. Does the driver of the 43 car have enough time, Ross, to get back up there and make a fight for this win?
Well, the first handful of laps since the pit stop, Carpenter's been just a little bit faster than Wilkerson. I think that was kind of what we saw on the previous 2 runs from that 20 car, just being pretty fast, or at least just having a little bit of the edge over the 43 on the shorter part of the run. Now they've gotten to be more equal on lap time. Ooh, lap car coming off a pit road. Carpenter just went around. I had to maybe just surprise him a little bit. Just kind of hit, kind of got him at the perfect time. No contact or anything, but something to maybe slow him down just a little bit this lap. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see if he can close up to 2.2 seconds back. Just under 20 to go. Going to definitely have to do a 10th or 2 a lap to make this work.
As we look further back in the field, this is the battle for 4th between William Schmidt and Braden Movick now. As they will go side by side through turn number 3. This is a good battle here. Braden Movick's been all over these front runners, trying to just fight and claw his way into this top 4, and now he's gotten there, move him past William Schmidt into that 4th spot, and he'll set his sights on Spencer Madden, who, and with Braden Movick, actually has the freshest tires out of all of these drivers. He was the one who got off on that little off sequence in the mid part of this race, and it has resulted with him having slightly fresher rubber. We're going to see if that can carry Braden Movick forward. If not up to the lead, then up to at least the 3rd position. There is the 6 car of Spencer Madden squaring his sights on lap number 72.
Yeah, I think Madden and Movick, if they got a caution, they definitely would have something to say about who's going to win this race. I think obviously Carpenter and Wilkerson have been so great tonight, battling up near the front and really leading most of this race. But these two are both very fast on the short run and really I think would be super aggressive with an opportunity if a caution did come out. Movick, yeah, just having a little bit fresher tires. We talked about him running a little bit longer and a couple lap fresher tires than the drivers he's around. During that commercial break, I saw on the side-by-side, got to Mo Perry, and Mo Perry got a huge slide off of 3, but they were able to keep moving forward. But I think just kind of a quiet night for Mo Perry running here in 6th. But watching these drivers in front with just maybe a little bit fresher tires getting away.
Movick now setting his sights on Spencer Madden there. They're going to be side-by-side. Madden way up the racetrack. They're going to be side-by-side drag racing down the front straightaway here. Give Movick the spot. Not quite. Who's going to be down into turn number 1? It looks like Movick has the advantage, and he'll have the inside. He will take control of this 4th place position here. See if Madden can cross over on the back side of the turn. He will not. Move driver number 42 up into the bronze medal position on lap number 74.
It's going to probably settle out these drivers, basically the freshest tires at the front of this pack here, and then the oldest tires at the back. Going a little bit farther back, Joshua Chin, we talked about just, not as good of pace in the second part of this race as he did the first part. But ultimately, in 7th, I think can't complain about that, even though we probably expect him up in that top 5 or even contending for the win. I think considering just the pace not being there the second half of this race, having a chance here, running in 7th, trying to close in on this this 4-car battle up here for third.
Looking back at the field of this third through seventh gaggle of cars that make their way through turn number 2. This is where all the action has been for pretty much the majority of this evening. Here is now, the 6 of Spencer Madden. Bad run off of turn number 2. That's going to give the 79 of William Schmidt a opportunity to capitalize, and he is going to do just that, getting down to the inside of that 6 car and move William Schmidt up now into the 4th position as Spencer Madden continues to slide back at the end of this, in the waning laps of this 90-lap race here at Pocono.
And not going down without a fight, at least a little bit. But yeah, we talked about on that last run. What a drive by William Schmidt here. Gonna ultimately grab this 4th spot and probably get away here and be able to hold it at least unless the caution comes out. But starting all the way back in 20th. No strategy, just slowly making his way up through the field to get up here for a top 5. Well, we got a 3-horse battle here for Freilich and Grindel. And we're going to get a little close here with Bennett to the inside.
Big moment there between the 70 car of Harry Grindel and Brett Bennett. They'll get it sorted out as Grindel scampers away with the position. And ahead of them, Freilich scampers away with, I believe, both of them. He might have gotten 2 positions in one corner again. But Freilich on the move late to try and rebound. Something happened to Freilich on that last pit sequence. I don't know what it was, but he fell way down the leaderboard, and now having to use raw speed to get his way back up into this top 10. He's moved himself up to 8th, but he's got a big gap right in front of him up to Josh Chin. 7 seconds up the road is the driver of that 93 car in 7th. So save a caution. I expect driver number 15 to finish in that 8th position. Unless Harry Grindel's got something to say about it, as it looks like he does. He's hot on his heels. This fight's not going away anytime soon. Now as that 70 car has drawn right back up to the back bumper of Cole Freilich.
Slicing and dicing down the front stretch, trying to break the draft. And we'll see if Grindel has an opportunity here. Maybe a little bit of a run. I don't know if it's going to be enough. I have about the same momentum heading into 2 here. It's just so tough when you're behind somebody there to line it up right if you're too close. And ultimately just need to kind of maintain and then try to set them up in the either turn 3 or turn 1. Grindel going to look a little bit more to the inside on Freilich. You mentioned Freilich, just a little bit longer time on pit road than a lot of these other drivers that he's racing around. I don't know if it was sliding through the pit box or something, but like you said, definitely an issue on pit road. Grindel going to be on the inside here entering 1. Side by side, they're going to continue this battle.
Grindel down on the bottom side, Freilich on the top side. Woo, little close for contact there. Up off of turn number 1, but they keep it straight here as they're going to be nose to nose down into turn number 2, and at this point you're not giving an inch into the tunnel turn. Freilich pinching him down as he get up in the wall. Whoa, big moment there for the 2 of them, and that's going to bring the 06 of Brett Bennett right back into this battle. Those 2 had thought they were going to get clear of it. Whoa, what a moment for Harry Grindel. Keeps it sideways, keeps it straight. And he's still trying to get that thing covered back up as they head onto the front straightaway. What a save from Harry Grindel off the nose of Brett Bennett to maintain that position too. And now he'll have to continue to fight off the advances of Bennett, who actually looks like he's just going to go right on through this time now.
Well, you saw it. You saw Grindel kind of close up on Freilich and then lose momentum. That brought Bennett up to Grindel, and then they got to battling, and here comes Nolan Sanford. So it's so easy to lose your momentum here, and then the driver behind is able to gain back. Sanford going to look to the inside here at Grindel. I was kind of wondering if Grindel was maybe trying to get behind Bennett there to kind of return the favor of that big slide, but ultimately just maybe doesn't have it here on this last part of this run here, the last 10 laps, and gave him a position. Sanford now going to fall back a little bit here and try to regroup and going after Grindel here.
And you have to respect that move by Harry Grindel to, realize that maybe bombing it back in on the outside of Bennett, who, granted, he was just turned off the nose of him, but having that clarity and wisdom, racing wisdom, we'll call it, to just maybe take a step back, give the position up, knowing those tires are going to be screaming hot from going sideways down the racetrack. Try and regroup, and then maybe take another stab at it later on in this race when we're a little closer to the end. We are within 10 laps to go of this, and looking back towards the front, Ross, Wilkerson has not really caught Kendall Carpenter as much as I thought that he would have by now. The gap's still right around 2.2 seconds. It had gotten down to like 1.8, but now it seems to have gone back up.
Yeah, you don't hope that Wilkerson's given up on it and maybe question whether or not he would be able to catch Carpenter, but it just seemed like there has been some moments where he was like 0.2 faster, and then the next lap Carpenter was actually 1/10 faster going back the other way. So even gaining a little bit of time at certain times, it just seemed like there's some laps he wasn't able to. This time you're just off of 3, you get a little close to the wall. We'll see lap times. I will say Carpenter, he's got 2 lappers in front of him he's going to have to deal with here either this lap or the next. You never know. A little bit of a bobble as you try to get, to just where this timing is of these lap cars. You could maybe catch up a little bit. That last lap, they both were pretty much equal lap times. So looks like we're going to move out of the way with these lappers, giving room to our leaders.
That's Emery Spence there in the 12 car, showing a really classy move, getting out of the way of your leaders here, going within 8 laps of the checkered flag. So classy move by Emery to get out of the leaders' way and let them come on through here. As now Carpenter looks to put Gavin Newton a lap down now as well here. We've reached 7 laps to go here at Pocono.
Again, mirrored lap times between the two. We got in the wall. Yeah, that's got to be a nervous feeling when you're Kendall Carpenter. You go to make the pass there on Gavin Newton, and then he got in the wall a little bit. It's like issues here for Marty Farrell. That becomes the question now. If you're Kendall Carpenter, you're just wondering. Is now again a lapper in front of. Man, this is getting a little intense as Wilkerson was able to get around Gavin Newton, who got in the wall again in front of him now. So yeah, now it's just if you're Kendall Carpenter, you're just hoping this stays green to bring it home. If caution comes out, it would change the whole idea of how this race will end.
Yeah, and that pretty much everybody inside the top 8, I'd say, is probably salivating at the idea of a caution coming out right now, because that's about the only chance that they've got of spoiling the party for Kendall Carpenter, who's looking to go back to back in clinching a checkered flag here at Pocono. Did it last week at Auto Club for his first win of the season to really solidify himself in that championship hunt, and this would be a really big boost towards that should this stay green towards the end.
Not only that, the battle that he has hoping to start here with Joshua Chin. Last week he gets the win and Joshua Chin finishes second. I think if you look at what Josh has been able to do in this league, in this series, I think a 6th place run tonight is probably about the worst you're going to see him do a lot of times. So if you're Kendall Carpenter, this is a great opportunity to grab max points. And we talked about it early in the race, but also one of our noble drivers tonight. So going for that bonus, he really had to basically fight Wilkerson for the race win and this bonus all night here.
Yeah, definitely had to earn this one. Wilkerson, put up a whale of a fight pretty much all night long, and then it was really where the difference was that those pit sequences, both of the green flag sequences that we had, Carpenter really solidified himself as the top dog here tonight. But we're still within 5 laps to go. A lot can happen as Brett Bennett is now trying to take the fight to Cole Freilich there for the 8th position. Brett's not ready to lie over just yet and let this race end. He wants that one more spot, and who better than to take it from than prior champion Cole Freilich in the closing laps.
Yeah, both these drivers pitted same time, so they both have similar tires. I would say Freilich maybe just a little used up his stuff a little bit earlier in the run, and now Bennett using his stuff up late, gonna clear Freilich and grab that spot off of 1. And I think Grindell's gonna have a chance here at Freilich too. Look to the inside entering 2.
Yeah, something happened there on the 15 car. I don't know if the tires just gave up or what, but now Freilich dropping like a rock. Now falls to Harry Grindell, and that will put him in the 10th position. He's going to try and make a move back at the driver of the 70 car, but I don't think anything's happening here. The tires on that 15 car are gone as they flash back across the line to take 3 laps to go this time for Kendall Carpenter, who has absolutely put on a clinic here tonight as we look back at the lead or at the race for 5th between Spencer Madden and Josh Chin. These two drivers been putting on a show for us all night long. Josh Chin, we documented about him going backwards a little bit earlier on in this race. Now he's starting to come back up towards the front and try and take the fight to the driver of that 6 car who started on the outside pole and did so well to stay up in that lead contention for so long, but now seems to have dropped back a little bit. 2 laps to go this time.
And previous lap, Wilkerson was able to close 2/10 on Carpenter, got it down to about 2 seconds, and then last one right back to same lap time. So, like I said, I think Wilkerson was definitely faster on the long run the first 2 runs, but Carpenter was able to ultimately find a difference here in this last run, be able to maybe not be as fast as Wilkerson, and obviously do 1 lap fresher tires on that 43, but ultimately give himself the opportunity to mirror his lap times, keep that gap. As Kiani going to come down to pit road, tough spot to be pitting late here. I don't know if that's a issue, got some damage, or just maybe didn't get it full, but tough break to end this one. Was running, I think 13th, gonna maybe lose a couple spots here. Final lap for Kendall Carpenter.
Yep, white flag is out one more time around the tricky triangle for Kendall Carpenter, who has led the majority of the evening. Absolutely putting on a clinic here in Eastern PA, out in the mountains. And let's not look too far back and right off a second place run for Jacob Wilkerson there. Braden Movick has caught the driver of the 43, and we're going to have a battle right down to the wire here. If Wilkerson's not too careful, Braden's got those newer tires. He might have something to say about it, but out of turn number 3 for the final time, here comes Kendall Carpenter. Wilkerson's going to cover the spot. Braden's not going to be able to get there. Coming down to the checkers. Kendall Carpenter wins the World 360 at Pocono and wins the No Bull bonus of $25 extra to a max night for Kendall Carpenter. What a win. Everybody coming across the line now. Jacob Wilkerson second, Braden Movick third. Those are your top three, we'll get to their interviews shortly. William Schmidt, great points night for him, 4th across the line. Spencer Madden rounds out your top 5. After starting on the outside pole, a great night for him, fighting all night long amongst these top dogs of the OSRL Premier Series.
Shout out to Braden Movick there for having a chance, at least to get to Wilkerson. I think we kind of wrote off the fact that Carpenter and Wilkerson were going to finish 1st and 2nd, and they did, but did not think that anyone would be able to close the gap. Great job by Movick. We talked about him pitting way late, and it's got to be a little scary to basically have to wait 4 laps beyond what Carpenter and Wilkerson were pitting, and know that they're out there on those fresh tires, but it was going to pay dividends at the end of the race, and it did. Closed up at the end. He probably wishes there was another handful of laps to have a chance at Wilkerson, and never know. But great job by Carpenter of just executing the long runs, being able to maintain speed. Maybe not be the best on the short run, maybe not be the best on the long run, but I think he was 2nd best at almost everything, and definitely probably the best at hitting pit road. We saw that on the first one, and then he executed it again on the 2nd green flag pit stop. Great job. Gonna get him another win here and the bonus.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Ross. That's exactly where the where Kendall's edge came from tonight. He might not have been the fastest at any given point. Wilkerson definitely seemed to have the most raw speed, but Carpenter was the most consistent throughout the entire run. We documented how Wilkerson was kind of getting into the wall there towards the end of the 2nd green flag run before this final one, as Carpenter pulls it down into Pocono victory lane here. Carpenter knew where to find speed when it mattered, and that was A, most consistently over the run, and B, on pit road, as we saw it in 2 separate instances, how he's just absolutely dominated getting on and off pit road. That really gave him an edge over his other competitors. Let's go ahead and get our interviews started off here with your 3rd place finisher, Braden Movick. Braden, it's Brill and the boys up in the booth. Got a copy?
Hell yeah, boys. How's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. Looked like it going pretty good for you there. Started off in the 19th position, way deep in the field, fought and clawed all night long to bring it home in the 3rd spot. Take us through your evening, and what did you think if you had a little bit more time, do you think you could have got those boys up there in 1st and 2nd?
I absolutely do believe it. If on that restart, if I wasn't hit in a tunnel turn and put 90 degrees sideways, it would have been, I lost about 3 seconds in that little affair, and then I finished 2.5 behind the leader. Yeah, this was a race of what could have been, but what can you do? I mean, I didn't have a single practice lap. I didn't have a qualifying lap. I just got here and decided to race because why not? I normally hate Pocono, but I mean, I gotta say it. This race was really fun. This car drove. It was this track and this car is the closest this game will ever get to NR 2003. That's why I feel like I was pretty good here. But yeah, lap 40 tunnel turn. That's where this race was lost for me. Got hit. Was about 90 degrees sideways. Knocked my actual wheel out of alignment. My wheel is pointing at 10 o'clock right now, just to go straight. But yeah, just needed that not to happen. And I think we would have a pretty good shot of winning because, man, when I came out of the pits, I was 8.4 behind Kendall, and 25 laps later, 2.5. So yeah, I think without that happening and maybe 5 more laps, I think it could have been a win here.
Well, definitely seems like a night of what ifs for you, Braden. Bringing it home in the 3rd spot. You were one of the ones who kind of led the charge to come get tires and really lead that split decision to come down and when the I believe it was about 7 cars, about halfway through the race, stayed out. You came down and got tires and led that group that elected to come get fresh rubber. What was the mentality there on the decision to come get tires instead of stay out on the track?
Well, I was just going to do what everyone else did. I was the last car to pit. I pitted a lap and a half before the yellow came out. And I just thought everyone was going to pit anyway, so why not? And my tires were at 98, and I was saving fuel the whole time. So yeah, I definitely thought that everyone was going to pit. I was really not expecting everyone or most of the field to stay out, but yeah, that's pretty much where this race got undone. It was absolutely the correct strategy to pit right there, because with the speed that I had after about lap 10 in a run, it was more than enough to win the race. But yeah, it was the same restart where I got hit in the tunnel, but yeah, I think that was definitely the winning strategy. I think it was definitely going to work, because the tires, they evened out a little bit, but they cliffed towards about the last 5 laps of the race, and I gained about 3 seconds. So yeah, it was definitely the right strategy.
Absolutely. I think you made the right call there. And yeah, if whatever happened on lap 4 didn't happen, I think you definitely had a shot at the win here tonight. Looking forward, next week, Nashville Super Speedway, a lot smaller of a track, still a concrete surface. How are you feeling about that one?
Well, I'd be really happy to race, but unfortunately, I have to work that night. But I will be here for Indianapolis, the next Noble 5 race. So I'm very excited for that. Very similar to Pocono. It's one of my favorite racetracks. So yeah, I'm really excited to get going again in Indianapolis.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing you and being able to cover that race. That'll be our next broadcasted race here on Split Second Broadcasting on December 4th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Braden, before we let you get out of here, do you have anybody to thank for your awesome run tonight? Sponsors and shout-outs.
Man, I got to thank Tyler Tinsley, Tin Can Sim Racing Design, for this gorgeous paint, as always. He paints all my cars, all my good ones at least. But yeah, we like to say, look good, race good, and this paint scheme adds about 5% speed to me. So yeah, gotta thank him for that, making my hot rod, and gotta thank, of course, the admins putting on the show, being a good race. This is the best race I've run this season. I love long green flag runs. We've been missing that lately in my last few starts, but yeah, really happy to get some long green flag runs going. A lot of tire wear, a lot of strategy. So yeah, thank everyone for a nice clean race today.
I agree. You tend to shine on these longer runs when we get to see them. So it's awesome to see you have a great run here tonight. Braden, thank you so much for talking to us, and go enjoy your 3rd place run, buddy.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
See if we can grab our 2nd place runner, Jacob Wilkerson. Jacob, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Coming home 2nd tonight. We saw a handful of opportunities early in the race where you're able to be just a little bit faster than Kendall Carpenter and really just any of the leaders up near the front on the long run. Just maybe not as fast on the long run that last run. What did you need to have that opportunity to chase down that 20 in the end?
I just needed to take the lead way earlier in the race. Like, pretty much the clean air was like the most important part of this entire race. Like, as soon as Kendall got in the lead and when I was keeping up with him, there was just no way I was able to pass him with how big the dirty air was.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in, but when you have these opportunities, you're battling. We saw the great battle with you guys up near the front on that first run, and you have green flag pit stops coming. We kind of thought it was an interesting dynamic with the pit window opening kind of about the same time of when you're gonna potentially be needing to come down and get fuel. So everybody gonna kind of be pitting similar laps. What's that like? Is it something that you're like, you pretty much know when everyone's pitting? Are you keeping your cards close to the vest, trying to surprise the people around you when you're battling like that? You do green flag pit stops. What's that like?
It was basically so like that one yellow where everybody came down and topped off or took tires. They were obviously having to different pit window than the rest of us. Me and Kendall, we just had to go as long as we can to make it on fuel, and we were basically just like about right on the number on fuel compared to somebody like Muvik who pitted on that yellow and was able to go a little bit longer than us, and he did have like a little bit fresher tire than us and was kind of running us down late in that run. So yeah, it was basically some of the pit strategies were kind of mixed.
Well, it obviously a couple wins this season. Weren't able to get it done tonight, but what are you looking at for the next couple weeks? You have Nashville next week, off week, and then back to Indy for another opportunity at the No Bowl bonus. What's your outlook on the next couple races?
Looking forward to Nashville. I feel like I could do pretty good there. Indianapolis, I feel like it's going to be somewhat the same like this race was, where it's clean air dominant, and it's going to be pretty hard to pass there, especially with how low the banking is at that track. But yeah, I think Nashville is going to be a good track for me.
Well, a top 3 run tonight. You get an opportunity to shout out anyone you like. We'll give you the last little bit of the chat here to thank anyone that helped you along this run.
Yeah, I appreciate all the people watching the stream, along with you guys for putting on the broadcast. Jack for putting this league together, along with everybody coming out. Congrats to Kendall on the win. And shout out to the team that I'm on, Team PBR. My team owner is Zach Todriff. And yeah.
Awesome. We appreciate it, Jacob, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, we'll bring in our winner on the evening, Kendall Carpenter. Kendall, it's Brittle and the boys up in the booth. Got a copy.
Sir, how you guys doing?
Doing pretty good, man. It's great to hear your voice again up here in the split second broadcasting booth. Going back to back.
Yes, sir.
Last week at Auto Club, this week here at Pocono on split second broadcasting. What was the secret here tonight? It looked like you had the field covered when it came to green flag pit stops. That looked like it was really the secret to where you would just, start walking the dog on this entire field. Where did you feel like you had the most advantage and where you got it done tonight?
Oh man, I had to show my Aaron Tony Stewart on that one. I don't think I've ever been more locked in on a race. I was just really, really focused on trying to minimize mistakes and just maximize everywhere. And I did that in execution on pit stops, like you said, getting a massive lead both times. And just executing and hitting my marks, really. Just putting down good lap times. Jacob is a fantastic driver. I have a lot of respect for him. So to be able to outduel him was pretty special. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, we documented it all night long. It seemed like Jacob was at any given moment maybe the faster driver on track, but you were certainly the most consistent because it seemed like he would start to catch you and then get into the wall a little bit and then fall back and have to drive back up to you, and then rinse, lather, repeat the whole night, and you were just up there with the lead. How do you just put together a consistent lap and just maintain that level head, knowing you've got a hungry driver chasing you down like that?
It was really just more so just make sure I hit my marks, especially in the tunnel turn. I was very focused on the tunnel turn to make sure I didn't hit the wall, although I did one time. I thought I almost broke my car. But yeah, just with this car, with how the aerodynamics work, the leader has such an advantage because it's so hard to pass with the dirty air, a lot of aero wash. So I was just trying to make sure that I kept him in my tire tracks and make sure he didn't get a run on me. And just battling in the beginning of the race with Spencer there, that was a really fun battle there to get to the lead. And once I got there, I was just able to maintain from there. So that was just really the key, just track position.
Yeah, earlier on in that race, you having a battle with Spencer up there, that was a great show to watch. And like you said, once you got there, it was going to be hard to pry it away from you. So congratulations once again on your win here tonight. Looking forward, we've got Nashville next week, and then after that, Indianapolis will be back on Split Second Broadcasting for that one, because that's another no bull race, which you, sir, have won the no bull bonus here tonight, getting an extra $25. So congratulations on that, and you qualify for the next no bull race in Indianapolis. What's your outlook for those two races coming up down the stretch?
Oh man, I'm just happy to be winning races. Last season was very tough, coming off that rookie season with the battling for the championship. So it's just nice to bounce back and try to chase down Josh Shin, he's just on another level. So just chipping away at that lead, and the next two races we'll see. Nashville is not very strong for me. Indy is going to be similar to Pocono, where it's just going to be a track position battle, just because of the arrow. So you just have to really hit your marks, keep your tires underneath you, and just, execute over there. So we're just going to keep on trucking along, try to get some more wins, and try to get to that championship.
Well, man, we'll be looking forward to keeping track of it all season long here on Split Second Broadcasting TV. It's great to talk to you again once in the booth. Before we let you go and enjoy your win, do you have anybody to thank for your awesome run tonight?
Man, I guess I gotta thank Cole Fraley for the awesome paint scheme that he took up for me. I love it. The Home Depot Tony Stewart 2004 scheme on a Ford, awesome. And thank you to you guys for joining along and broadcasting. I can't wait to watch back a little bit later on.
Well, Kendall, we appreciate you thanking us, and we appreciate you stopping by to interview and talk about your win. It's great to have you back up here in the booth, buddy. Now go enjoy your evening, and congrats on the win once again.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
You as well. And that'll wrap up our interviews on the evening. Ross, closing thoughts from Pocono.
Yeah, just a great job. You give all the credit to Kendall there and his ability to execute the long green flag runs. We talked about it. That's what Pocono is. It lends itself to be the long green flag runs with green flag pit stops, and we saw it. And I think he was the best at the overall execution of how this race played out. So great job by him. Great job by Wilkerson to put up the fight. And then Movic, we talking to him too. Would have been really fun to see another couple laps, see how close he would have got. But a great little battle there as far as closing up the gaps on track position. Just didn't come down to the actual positions on track, and they finished 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think the only person who's going to go to bed tonight not wishing that there wasn't just maybe one more lap in this race is Jacob Wilkerson, because it would have been really interesting to see Braden Movic get that opportunity right coming to the line. Let's take you through the final rundown here before we get on out of here. Obviously, Kendall Carpenter is your winner. He comes home in the first place position here tonight. Jacob Wilkerson brings it home in second in a tight battle with Braden Movic right to the wire, who brings it home third. William Schmidt, great points night for him after starting deep in the field with Braden Movic. He will come home fourth. Spencer Ray brings it home in the fifth position after starting outside pole. Solid night for him. Can't help but think, what if he could have just stayed up there and contended for those guys with the win. Josh Chin brings home in the sixth spot. Another great points night for him, but Kendall Carpenter does edge into that points lead just a little bit. Something to keep an eye on down the stretch as we get into the back half of this season. Mo Perry brings it home in the seventh spot after starting on pole. A great night for Mo. Brett Bennett finishes in the eighth position. Harry Grindell ninth, and Cole Fralick rounds out your top 10 in the 15 car.
Yeah, 11th of 52, and Nolan Sanford, the 12th place finisher. John Daniels, who's had a great qualifying run, just kind of moved backwards a little bit on the start, and ultimately ran kind of right around that 10th position, but ends up 12th in the end. Levi Wolf in 13th. Jack Painter, we saw him trying to use it all up in that tunnel turn a couple times tonight. Brings it home in 14th. Marty Farrell in 15th. Adam Harrington 16th. John Felber 17th, Griffin Jones in 18th. Nathan Chiani we saw hitting pit road there with 2 laps to go. Not sure what happened there in the end, but had to come back down and lose a couple spots to come home 19th. And then Emery Spence in 20th.
21st is John Szulczewski, 22nd Gavin Newton, 23rd Michael Deitch, and rounding out your 24-car field, James Bomar finishes 75 laps down after a premature exit from the sim. That'll just about wrap it up for us here at Split Second Broadcasting. We will see you the next time for OSRL competition on December 4th for Indianapolis for No Bull race number 4 on the season in 3 weeks' time. Until then, continue to tune in live on Tuesday nights for Great Lakes Truck Series or Great Lakes Racing action, and we will see you on December 4th for Indianapolis in the OSRL Premier Series. Thank you, and good night.